Do you want to know how much it would cost to be a registered nurse in New Zealand? If yes, then keep watching! Hello everyone! My name is Joanne Roxanne and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to share to you the cost of coming here to New Zealand to work as a registered nurse. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm a Filipino nurse who worked in Saudi Arabia for the last 7 years. And now my husband and I are currently in New Zealand about to start working as registered nurses. And in my previous video, I shared the step-by-step process on how to become a nurse here in New Zealand. And if you haven't watched that yet, a link will pop up and I will also put it down in the description box. So, I will be breaking down my expenses to you and also share the timeline when I actually spent that amount. Kasi hindi naman siya biglaan na kailangan and hindi lang naman isang bagsakan kailangan na siya agad. And also, you do not need to resign it from your job, so may source of income pa. But remember, we could have different timelines. Pwedeng mas mabilis or pwedeng mas matagal. Depende. So, I'm just gonna show you my timeline so that you could have an idea on how long I process my application. So, firstly, in December 2019, I took an English exam and I chose OET. And OET exam cost 587 Australian dollars or 21,700 pesos. But if you would choose IELTS Academic as your English exam, that would be a cheaper option, which is only 11,650 pesos. And then, I received the OET results after a month, pero hindi pa ako agad nag-process ng CHFNS kasi umuwi pa ako sa Pilipinas for vacation. So, I started my CHFNS verification on February 3, 2020, and I paid $300 or 15,000 pesos for that. And then, another 15,000 pesos, lahat-lahat na, for the verification sa school, sa PRC, sa Saudi Council, sa notarization of identity forms, and also the courier fee. Kasi tayo din magbabayad ng courier fee pa, send ng forms pa CHFNS. So that was 15,000 all in all. And then, CHFNS received all the forms on June 29, 2020. And the last form that they received was from a university. And it took 4 months kasi my university closed for 3 months during the pandemic. So, siguro kung walang pandemic, I could have completed all the verification forms in a shorter period of time. And then, after 2 weeks, I received the CGFNS report. So, that was on July 14. And if you could remember, I've mentioned in my previous video that you have 30 days to either approve or reject the CGFNS report. But for me, it took me only 10 minutes. Kasi when I read the report, nakita ko okay naman lahat, in-approve ko na agad-agad immediately. So, they sent that report to the Nursing Council of New Zealand, and within the same day, I think after 12 hours, I received the invitation to apply for Nursing Council New Zealand registration. And for that, I paid 485 New Zealand dollars or 17,000 pesos. Then, ito na naman yung part na natagalan ako. If you could remember, I mentioned in my previous video that Nursing Council of New Zealand asked me to redo my Saudi Council verification. So, a month had already passed by and I was thinking na okay na, ma-receive ko na anytime yung cap offer letter. Kasi okay naman na, verified naman na by CGFNS. Pero hindi pala. Kasi to my surprise, hindi lang pala yung report ang isasend nila sa Nursing Council of New Zealand, but also the verification forms. So, they were able to see na hindi pala yung Saudi Council ang nag-fill out ng verification form. Kaya, they asked me to redo the verification. And then, it took me another 2 months to get the verification from Saudi Council kasi that time, kakabago lang nila ng process nila. Naging online na sila, which is yung Tawasul. And also, sinabihan ko sila na many times na wag isend sa email ko, but instead isend doon sa case manager ng Nursing Council of New Zealand. Kasi nga, di ba, hindi dapat sa atin magagaling ng verification. So, yung dapat na 30 business days lang, naging more than 3 months. So, matagal, diba? Kaya, careful kayo sa part na yon. Make sure na yung responsible institutions ang mag-fill out ng form and sila din ang magsisend sa CGFNS. Then finally, I received my CAP offer letter on October 27, 2020. And then the next step is to find a CAP provider. So, ito na yung bag ng gastos. Kasi from what I saw when I was applying, the tuition fee ranges from 8,000 New Zealand dollars to 12,000 New Zealand dollars or 285,000 pesos to 420,000 pesos. So, when Lonsdale offered me a slot for May 2021, I took it na kasi waiting list ako sa ibang schools kasi nga they had limited slots due to pandemic. So, my tuition fee was around 400,000 pesos and I only had 7 days to pay for the tuition if I wanted to accept the slot. So, since nandun talaga sa CAP yung bulk ng gastos, my advice is, if you do not have the budget yet, wag muna kayo mag-apply. Kasi the CAP offer letter naman is valid for 2 years. So, when you receive your CAP offer letter, pwede mo na mag-wait muna ng mga few months bago mag-apply for CAP. Kasi nga, valid pa naman siya for 2 years. So, pwede mo na mag-ipon-ipon for a couple of months. But also be mindful of the expiration of your English exam. Kasi the English exam should still be valid when you apply for a CAP provider. So, after you secured a slot for your CAP, the next step is applying for a visitor visa. But since currently New Zealand border is only open to its residents and critical workers, you must first have to have an invitation from the Immigration New Zealand that you have a critical purpose to travel here. So, attending CAP is considered a critical purpose. So, yes, nurses who will attend CAP can still travel here to New Zealand even though the border is closed, and they can also bring their family with them as their dependents. Diba? Ang saya. So, to get that invitation to apply, you must submit a request for travel to New Zealand, and it costs 45 New Zealand dollars or 1,600 pesos. So, I submitted that request on February 3, 2021. Then, after a week, I received my invitation to apply for a visit visa. And then, I lodged my visa application on March 7, 2021, and it cost me 13,000 pesos. Kasama na yung the visa itself, and the visa center fee, the courier of the passports, and also in that amount, kasama ko yung husband ko as my dependent. Kasi kahit pareho kaming magkakap, we decided na isama ko na lang siya sa application ng visa para isahan and mas mura. So, after 5 days, we received our visitor visa under the critical purpose category. So, mabilis lang. Once na submit mo lahat ng kailangan, within 5 days, makukuha mo na yung critical purpose visit visa. And then, next is the flight ticket. So, mine was around 60,000 pesos one way. Kasi remember, I came directly from Saudi Arabia to New Zealand. And then, show money. So, according to the website of the Immigration of New Zealand, you must have at least 1,000 New Zealand dollars or 36,000 pesos per person per month for you to be granted a visit visa. Now, remember, hindi lang siya show money, but it is really spending money that you will use here dito sa New Zealand while you do not have a job yet. So, I suggest prepare a bigger amount, like at least 200,000 pesos and more if your family is with you. And then, doon sa spending money na yun, kasama na doon yung medical fee and yung application for work visa. The general medical examination should be done by a doctor from the approved list of panel physicians. And eto yon, you can search here kung saan yung pinakamalapit sa inyo na approved panel physician. And for us, nag-spend kami ng 540 New Zealand dollars or 90,000 pesos for the medical. But I think may mas mura pa dyan, depende sa clinic. And then, do sa work visa, so after you get a job offer, you accept a job offer, mag-apply ka na ng work visa. And that will cost you 495 New Zealand dollars for around 17,000 pesos. And then lastly, yung isolation fee. Kasi when you arrive here sa New Zealand, you need to isolate for 2 weeks. And tayo yung magbabayad nun. Pero, hindi pa agad-agad. Babayaran mo yun 3 months after you receive the invoice. So, for us, like for example, for us, we arrived here sa New Zealand on May 14, 2021. We received the invoice on June 14, 2021. So, from that date, meron pa kaming 3 months to pay. And then, the MIQ, yung isolation, they emailed me na if we think na hindi namin mababayaran on the 3rd month, which is on September 14, 2021, we can email them to ask for installment plans. So, hindi ko pa na-try, hindi ko pa na-email yun kasi we still have time. So, pero kung hindi kaya, i-email ko sila. And then, we will see kung anong mangyayari sa installment plan. So, yung isolation fee is 3,100 New Zealand dollars for the first or only person, plus additional 950 New Zealand dollars for each adult, and 475 New Zealand dollars naman sa kid. So, kaming dalawa ng asawa ko, it's around 4,050 New Zealand dollars kasi dalawa kami. So, in summary, I made a timeline with the amount that I actually spent for each step. So, I made this timeline for you to better have a visualization of everything that I explained. It. I know na mas magastos mag-apply as a nurse here dito sa New Zealand compared to other countries. But I'm sure naman na mababawi ngayon a few months after you start working. And come to think of it, there are lots of reasons why you should consider moving to New Zealand. And with that, on my next video, isi-share ko naman the reasons why my husband and I decided to move here sa New Zealand. So, like and subscribe! Thank you so much!